Leadership is hard. I don't know what it takes to run a cruise ship. I don't know what it means to be a captain of a vessel. My win-loss ratio at Battleship is atrocious, so I'm not about to say I understand what it means to make decisions on the high seas. However, if I was someone in the position that had to decide whether or not to allow passengers with possible COVID-19 symptoms off of a cruise ship, I'm pretty sure I would have checked with the ship's doctor. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. My name's Tony. If you enjoy that cruising content, if you like the cruise news updates, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of the episodes. Well, here's what's going on in Australia. On March the 19th, around 2,700 passengers were allowed to disembark from the Ruby Princess. Since that time, at least 600 cases of coronavirus has been linked to that cruise ship, and 21 deaths also attributed to the Ruby Princess, making it the largest source of virus outbreak for Australia. And as I mentioned in the intro, the reason that much of this happened is because the passengers were allowed to disembark, even though there could have been some indication that the virus existed on board. There are a couple investigations going on. There's a criminal investigation at play, and then there is a general inquiry. And in testimony yesterday in the general inquiry, the ship's doctor was questioned about the events that allowed the passengers to leave the cruise ship. The senior doctor, her name is Ilse von Watzdorf. She gave video testimony from on board the Ruby Princess. She was asked some very direct questions. She mentioned that there were people on board who had symptoms that were consistent with the COVID-19 virus, who had been tested for the flu and had shown negative results for both influenza A and influenza B. After those results, she tested passengers for COVID-19 because the symptoms were consistent with COVID-19, and before those results came back, passengers were allowed to disembark from the cruise ship. Richard Beasley, who is the counsel assisting the inquiry, asked the good doctor whether it was appropriate for passengers to disembark, and she gave this answer, and let me give it to you straight as a quote: "I was surprised that they were allowed to do that without waiting for the results to come through." She continued on, "If it was my decision, I would have perhaps waited like the previous time." Part of the challenge was there did seem to be a rub between two governing bodies there, the Australian Border Force and the New South Wales government, who both for a while said that the other one had encouraged and allowed passengers to disembark, with the Australian Border Force Commissioner Michael Outram saying that the directive to disembark came after New South Wales Health categorized the vessel as low risk. Dr. von Watzdorf was asked whether it was wrong to let passengers who possibly could be sick commingle together closely in a disembarkation process. She agreed that it was risky. She also was asked whether it was wrong to say that there were no signs of COVID-19 on board. The doctor said it would have been wrong to make that assertion. The doctor could not recall whether or not she'd said that to onboard authorities, but she did add, "I just don't think I would have said that even at the time." One interesting challenge to the doctor is she did fill out a form where she ticked a box that said there was no potential spread of disease on the cruise ship. She was asked about that form, but unable to see it because the form was there at the inquiry and she was on the cruise ship. She said that she believed that the box she ticked had to do with gastrointestinal illness and not any influenza or COVID-19 type illness. And when asked directly, "You as a doctor, would you not read your human health report as revealing no signs of COVID-19? The doctor replied, "Let me put it this way. If somebody asked me if this was consistent with COVID-19, I would have said yes." So this is an interesting story. It doesn't reveal whether or not the doctor was specifically consulted as to whether or not passengers should disembark. But the fact that she said that she was surprised that they were does seem telling to me. Again, I'm not sure how this works. I do get the sense that as all of this was ramping up, there was a desire to get people off of cruise ships. Hopefully this inquiry will reveal what the motivations were, but it does seem to me that there were a whole lot of people not asking questions that probably should have been asked. It does seem like the doctor would have said, yes, I think there could be COVID-19 with these passengers if anybody would have asked her, but it doesn't seem like anybody asked her. And then at the same time, it seems like if you had an inkling that these passengers had COVID-19, wouldn't you stand up on the rooftops and shout, "Don't let these people off the cruise ship"? I'm not sure what the power structure is. I'm not sure what authority is at play here. But man, we got to do something better than this, because at the end of the day, if you have cruise ship doctors telling you very specifically that the people they're treating and testing might possibly have COVID-19, and then all of those people are able to walk off the cruise ship, there's a breakdown there. I don't know what the fix is, but there's definitely a breakdown there. And if we want to go cruising again, we can't have it play out like this. It's going to be interesting to follow an interesting story. Again, there's a criminal investigation going on with this cruise ship. And it's significant to note that in these inquiries, Princess have opened the doors saying anything that you want to see, we're glad to assist with the investigation. So it's not an issue of the cruise line pushing back or anything like that. So as time goes on, we will get more information as to how things were handled. Some things were handled well. Some things will be handled not so well. I really hope that when cruising resumes again, at least the onboard medical professionals, they'll have a better say, at least into whether or not passengers can disembark from the cruise ship. At least they would be consulted, and maybe they are. Again, I don't know what the process is, but it does seem like if that was the process in this case, somebody didn't get to the doctor and ask them the right questions, or the doctor didn't get to the right person to tell them what they knew. Hopefully it gets better in the future. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Thank you for stopping by. My name's Tony, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.